South Korea and the United States reported their first cases of coronavirus on the same day. South Korea went all in on testing and has avoided a major surge, while the U.S. now leads the world in deaths. But now some of those test kits are making their way here from the South Korean company Seegene. Could this help the shortage crisis we now face? ABC's Joo-hee Cho files this report from Seoul.
Dr. Chun Jong-yoon, a former professor in molecular biology turned businessman, was ready with a test kit in hand even before South Korea reported its first COVID-19 patient in late January. Thinking ahead, his team of 130 scientists from both biology and computer sciences developed a test capable of detecting the novel coronavirus. The South Korean government expedited permission, and within 4 weeks, Seegene was rolling out tens of thousands of test kits as the country fought the worst days of the pandemic. The small box covered 80% of all testings done in South Korea. Thanks to aggressive, widespread testing, South Korea is flattening their curve faster than most nations. With a global shortage of tests, countries around the world are tapping into South Korea for help, including President Trump, who personally called the South Korean president for assistance last month.
Huge volume is every day they are asking to us. Sometimes embassy or some government or some president, they are sending to directly by the email. So many pressure is coming.
So far, Seegene tells ABC News they have exported more than 10 million kits to over 60 countries, and that their kits have provided 70% of all tests used so far in Italy, France, Germany, Spain, and Israel. Seegene says they will roll out 20 million test kits by May, with more tests soon heading to the U.S. Kits which will include the chemical reagents needed for analyzing collected samples.
The states can do the tests, but when I go back to the manufacturers, they will say, I can't find the reagents, the chemicals that are used in the test. Well, how do you get more reagents? I have to get them from China. I have to get them from this country. I have to get them from this country.
At Seegene headquarters in Seoul, PhD scientists and doctors normally at work in fancy labs are now all down on the production floor. Demand for coronavirus test kits have skyrocketed recent weeks. So the company had brought in researchers from biology and IT department to help out with packaging. They've sent about 100,000 test kits to the U.S. last week alone. Once these test kits arrive in the U.S., Seegene says running the actual tests for the masses is not an impossible mission. Labs, universities, and hospitals in nearly every country are set up with mass testing, according to Seegene. The challenge is gathering everything into one location and getting it running 24/7. The Seegene Medical Foundation shares this stage-by-stage system they set up. This is where you start the diagnosis process.
Exactly.
Okay, can we go in?
Yes.
17 nucleic acid extracting machines, 9 sets of liquid handling machines to mix samples and reagents into a tube, and about 90 minutes in these 55 sets of PCR amplification machines. With this process, Seegene says results for about 15,000 people pop up in just 5 to 6 hours.
So we realize it. This system is working dramatically well for covering the COVID-19 disease, especially in the pandemic situation, especially when you receive tons of samples. The system is perfectly excellent for massive screenings of the infectious disease.
Seegene says they want to share their process for the good of humanity, but warns that challenges still remain in this global war against COVID-19. Like all other viruses, there is potential for the new coronavirus to mutate, meaning consistent research and guidelines for testing processes will be key to flattening the curve worldwide. Joo-hee Cho for ABC News Live in Seoul, South Korea.